Good morning and welcome to Sunrise on Sky News. Our top stories this Saturday morning: Britain underwater, storms and flash floods bringing misery to thousands. Now it's heading north. Brought to a halt, the families stranded on the roads overnight. Cancellations on the railways, and air travel is hit too. Also this morning, we're running out of soldiers. The head of the army says that troop reinforcements are down to almost zero. In the sport, the pain and the joy of the Open at Carnoustie. And a touch of magic for the Muggles. The last instalment in the Harry Potter saga hits the shelves.
This is Sky News Sunrise with Mark Longhurst.
But first this morning, many parts of Britain are still submerged this morning after a day of torrential rain and flash flooding that's led to chaos across the country. On the roads, travellers have been left stranded overnight, with many families forced to spend the night in their cars, especially at junction 11 of the M5 motorway in the Worcester area. Well, this is the scene further down near junction 6. People getting out of their vehicles, trying to find out information about how long they may be stuck there. We're told it may be several hours yet because many vehicles further down have been left abandoned. Indeed, the motorway is still flooded in one section. As for southern and southwest England, they've borne the brunt of the extreme conditions, which are now expected to reach northern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland over the rest of the weekend. Although the Met Office has lifted its severe weather warnings, the Environment Agency has 73 flood warnings now in place for England and Wales. That means flooding is expected in these areas and will cause disruption. The Sky's Rose Gretton now reports.
It's not your typical school run, but this was how term ended for 150 children in Berkshire after they were rescued from their flooded school. For others, there was no singing in the rain, just a lot of huffing and puffing.
Hearing about all those weather warnings, I'm afraid it's lots of standing water in the road, making it very slow
Roads
indeed.
in the Midlands badly hit, with some major motorways clogging up as the floods clashed head-on with the big summer getaway. In the village of Sedgebarrow in Worcestershire, RAF helicopters helped rescue around 60 people, many of whom had to climb onto their roofs to escape the rising waters. On average, we'd expect around 1.3 inches of rain to fall in the whole of July, but instead some parts of England and Wales experienced as much as 5 inches in just 24 hours.
For example, this rain that came on Friday and is going in through Saturday was exceptional. The rainfall rate was around 40 millimetres an hour. Now, heavy rain is 4 millimetres an hour, so this is an order of magnitude greater. This is tropical. This is intense kind of properly torrential rain that you would normally experience in the tropics. And that signifies some sort of climate change, and we're just beginning to see it.
Even parts of London were transformed into lakes. This was Wandsworth, where storm drains could not cope with the sudden downpour and pedestrians were left clinging to buildings, while buses ground to a halt and railways were closed. The north of England is only just recovering from last month's deluge. That left a bill worth over £1.5 billion. But with the rain now expected to head north again, the claims are likely to keep coming. Rose Gretton, Sky News.
We saw those people being airlifted to safety. The helicopters are back in the air. An extra 3, one from Leon Solent, one from Anglesey, another one from Portland down in Dorset. Reports of people still stuck in an upturned car, stuck in trees. Although a man reported to be clinging from a lamppost has not been found, is currently considered missing by those rescue crews with the Coast Guard rescue helicopters. Well, Derek Tedder's at a leisure centre in Gloucester where more than 600 families have spent the night and indeed they have been in safety, unlike many others still stuck out there.
Well, indeed, you say that that people here are obviously very safe, but just about sort of 3 or 4 miles away from where I'm standing now is the M5 motorway, and I can tell you that a lot of people have decided to abandon their cars, and they've spent the evening here. About 650 altogether over the last 12 hours have come through these doors. But as you rightly say, Mark, a number of people have decided to stay in their vehicles, and as a result they've had no provision, they've been cold overnight. A lot of people that we've spoken to have said that they're a bit annoyed because nobody came to their rescue, but then again the emergency services has said, well, with all these many thousands of vehicles on the road, all of which are completely stuck, what can they do? They're literally overstretched to the limit. Let me just show you what the situation is like at the moment on the M5 and the M50 at the moment. This is the situation. We can just go a bit closer and have a little look at exactly the situation. Now, this is from the traffic master cameras that are above the gantries overlooking the motorway. As you can see, this gives you an indication as to how fast the vehicles are travelling. The police I spoke to a moment ago saying that the M5 northbound and southbound, it's all open, but they're saying certainly southbound it's only down to one lane. But as you can see, 0 miles an hour, nothing's moving at all between Gloucester and Cheltenham. The M50, as you can see, both directions is completely gridlocked. Now, what the police are also saying to us is that if you've got a vehicle that's stuck on the motorway, don't just go there and try and pick it up, because now the motorway is open. They're saying that's obviously very dangerous. So if you've got a vehicle that's there, contact the police. They will escort you onto the motorway because, of course, although it's not flowing very well at the moment, that could change at any minute. So they need to actually take you there to make sure it's safe. So that's the very latest from the police. Kathy, if I can just interrupt you a second. This is Kathy Daly. She's the centre manager here. Thank you for joining us on Sky News. What's the situation at the moment? A lot of people are obviously starting to wake up.
People waking up. Some are actually leaving. We are updating the roads as and when the information comes in. Obviously that's very slow, but any opportunity I think they're taking to try and get home. In respect of going up north, we've had the people from the train station come over, and people are being diverted to London if they want to actually go up north, and the tickets are valid for that. So obviously certain people are starting to leave. As we get more and more information, as roads open, more will leave, but we've still got about 300 in the building at the moment.
And what's the mood from people here at the moment? Because obviously they've been through the night and now they're getting very tired. A lot of them haven't slept.
Some haven't slept, some have had some good night's sleep at the university and on the bed. I think with those that are being positive, as you've seen, as they've actually left the building, they're saying thanks to the staff, so I think they appreciate what we're trying to do for them, but we also appreciate the trauma they're going through.
Okay, but you're hopefully going to get rid of them all quite soon, or are you going to stay open all day?
Well, we'll stay open for as long as it takes. At the end of the day, we're not going to actually throw people out the centre. We hope to get a relief team in. If people can't get home, then we'll have to try and put them up again.
Okay, so you reckon that some people will be here for the second night?
I hope not. I hope everything releases quite quickly, but I'll just play that by ear, to be totally honest.
Okay, Kathy, thank you for joining us on Sky News. As I say, yesterday the Met Office was saying that there was a terrible weather warning, severe weather warning across the whole of this area. That now seems to have been lifted, but of course, until the floodwaters do actually go down, Mark, of course, the situation is going to remain as it is at the moment.
But just remind us again, Derek, what the police told you, that the M5 is actually physically open, but quite clearly they've only got one carriageway, southbound open?
They're saying southbound, one carriageway is open. They're saying they have got a problem because a lot of the cars that are actually there have just simply been abandoned. As I said earlier, that some of the people are here, some of them are still asleep. So the fire brigade have actually been moving them to the side, to the hard shoulder, to try and clear a little bit of the traffic. But it's absolute gridlock, as you can see, as I say, from the computer here. Although it is open here, it doesn't seem to indicate that there's very much activity, because it's 0 miles an hour there. So of course it is open northbound. It's also open southbound, but it's absolutely gridlocked. So they're saying don't get misled by the fact that it's open, thinking, oh, thank goodness for that, we'll just get onto the M5 and go north and go south, because that simply is not going to happen. It's going to be many, many, many hours before it starts to clear.
Derek, thank you very much indeed for that at the Leisure Centre in Gloucester.